Sarvebhyah Hritpurvaka Namaskaraha Swagatam. Welcome to the 42nd session of Shivanandalahari. Ye adya ananta padmanabhavratam karishyanti tebhyah sarvebhyah Hritpurvaka Shubhashayaha. So have a very blessed Ananta Vrata for all those who are celebrating today. So we have completed, I think, 63 verses, and you all had a revision session last time. So we will try to complete till 65 today. So welcome once again, and to our panelists, we have Aditi, Charu, and Shreya. So let us begin with Guru Vandanam. Gururev gatir gurumev bhaje Gurunaiv sahasmi namo gurave Na guroh paramam shishurasmi guroh matirasti gurau mama pahi guru Shruti smriti purananamalayam karunalayam Namami bhagavat pada shankaram loka shankaram Saundaryalahari kartre sarvamangaladayine Shankaracharya varyaya yatirajayate namah Shankarupena machittam pankikritam abhudyaya Kinkari yasya samaya Shankaracharyamashraya प्रह्लाद वरदो देवो यो नृसिंहः परो हरिः नृसिंहोपासकं नित्यं तं नृसिंहगुरुं भजे श्रीसच्चिदानन्द शिवाभिनव्य नृसिंह भारत्यभिधान्यतीन्द्रान् विद्यानिधीन् मन्त्रनिधीन् सदात्मनिष्ठान् भजे मानवशम्भुरूपान् सदात्मध्याननिरतं विषयेभ्यः पराङ्मुखम् नौमि शास्त्रेषु निष्णातं चन्द्रशेखरभारतीम् विवेकिनं महाप्रज्ञं धैर्यौदार्यक्षमानिधिम् सदाभिनवपूर्वन्तं विद्यातीर्थगुरुं भजे भारती करुणापात्रं भारती पदभूषणं भारती पदमारूढं भारती तीर्थमाश्रये भारती तीर्थवर्यन्तं भक्तहृत्तापनाशनम् भवभीतिहरं देवं भावये सततं हृदि विद्या विनय संपन्नौ वीतरागौ विवेकिनं वन्दे वेदान्त तत्त्वज्ञौ विधुशेखर भारतीम् अनन्त गुण संपन्नाम् अनन्ताभिधयाश्रुताम् अनन्त ज्ञानदात्रीं तां मातरं प्रणुमो वयम् गैर्वाण्या संविबोधेन जीवनं मौल्यसंयुतम् या करोत्तान्नमाम्यम्बां शारदामूर्तरूपिणीम् अस्तु इदानीं प्रारम्भं कुर्मः Charu, please chant the first verse, Kalabhyam, followed by Aditi and then Shreya. Aditi can chant 62 and Shreya 63. Yeah, Kalabhyam.
कलाभ्यां चूडालङ्कृत शशिकलाभ्यां निजतपः फलाभ्यां भक्तेषु प्रकटितफलाभ्यां भवतु मे शिवाभ्यामस्तोकत्रिभुवन शिवाभ्यां हृदि पुनर्भवाभ्यामानन्दस्फुरदनुभवाभ्यान्नतिरियम्.
Next one, Aditi. We learnt this in last to last class, where Bhakti Janani is described, the mother of Bhakti protecting the child, the Shishu, the Bhakta. Yes, Aditi.
आनन्दाश्रुभिरातनोति पुलकं नैर्मल्यतश्छादनं वाचा शङ्खमुखे स्थितैश्च जठरापूर्तिं चरित्रामृतैः रुद्राक्षैर्भसितेन देववपुषः रक्षां भवात् भावनापर्याङ्के विनिवेश्य भक्तिजननी भक्तार्भकं रक्षति.
9 once again, Aditi, third and fourth.
रुद्राक्षैर्भसितेन देववपुषः रक्षां भवद्भावनापर्यङ्के विनिवेश्य भक्तिजननी भक्तार्भकं रक्षति.
Good. Next one. Shri Amarka Vartita.
मार्गावर्तितपादुका पशुपतेः अङ्गस्य कूर्चायते गण्डूशाम्बुनिषेचनं पुररिपोः दिव्याभिषेकायते किञ्चिद्भक्षितमांसशेषकबलं नव्योपहारायते भक्तिः किन्न करोत्यहो वनचरः भक्तावतंसायते.
So, this is a very beautiful verse, like we all learned on Shravana Purnima day. I think we learned this verse. It was also Samskrita Dinam. And so I told you that this verse describes the incident which happened in Kalahasti, which is one of the very important kshetras for Parameshwara. So just to quickly give a recap, we all know that this verse speaks about the unparalleled, blemishless bhakti of Sri Kannappa Nayanar. He was actually named as Tinna by his parents, but because he gave his own eyes to Parameshwara, he offered his own eyes, Kann, as it is known in many South Indian languages. He is famous as Kannappa Nayanar, and this particular legend of Kannappa Nayanar finds a mention even in Shiva Purana. He has been celebrated by many other acharyas, like for example, Shankaracharya in Shivanandalahari makes a reference to his bhakti that shows the greatness of the bhakti of Kannappa Nayanar, and also that shows the greatness of this culture of Sanatana Dharma, where what is given importance is just that your heart, your devotion, your bhakti. Kannappa Nayanar was born in a tribe, in a forest. And the way he worshipped Bhagavan, this particular verse highlights that when he saw that all the Shivalinga was covered with dried leaves, instantly whatever he had, he was wearing worn out slippers. Extensively they were used by walking. Those slippers itself he used to cleanse Parameshwara, remove the dried leaves. And where can I get how can I do abhishekam? So with that heart, pure heart, he runs, goes to the nearest source of water, a pond or a lake in that forest, takes it in his mouth and does abhisheka. What does he eat as a tribal? All he knows is his own food. Whatever he eats, his tribe eats, and what he thinks is tasty, that is the meat, he offers that itself as Naivedya. But one needs to raise to that level of bhakti to understand this bhavana, and that itself is not very simple, right? So, pure prema bhakti, that is pure love and nothing else. So that is what is highlighted in this verse. And bhaktihi kim na karotyaho vanacharaha bhaktavatam sayate. You became the greatest among devotees. How? Just by your pure bhakti. So that is what is very beautifully described in this particular verse, which we have already learned. So those who missed the class, that is 2 weeks ago, please listen to the recording. We have dealt with this in detail in that class. So please listen to that. And that Ananya Bhakti is highlighted in many places, even including the Gita. Bhaktyaatmananyaya shakyaha patram pushpam phalam toyam. In many places that Bhakti is highlighted. And we see, of course, in Bhagavatam, the Bhakti of Gopikas and Ramayana Bhakti of Shabari, that pure, just love, nothing else, just pure, blemishless love for Bhagavan. That is Bhakti. And what can it not achieve? And just by bhakti, one becomes a bhaktagresara, the greatest among devotees, like Kannappa Nayanar. So a very beautiful verse, and like we just hinted at in the last class, just one wonders. Is this 63, is there some significance that Shankaracharya purposely put this verse as 63? Because generally 63 is a number associated with Nayanars. And 63 here he is referring to Kannappa Nayanar. So a very wonderful verse here. Next, we move to 64 today. Charu. Vakshastadanamantakasya.
वक्षस्ताडनमन्तकस्य वक्षस्ताडनमन्तकस्य
Kathinaapasmarasammardanam.
कठिनापस्मारसम्मर्दनम् कठिनापस्मारसम्मर्दनम्
Bhubhrit paryatanam.
भूभृत्पर्यटनम् भूभृत्पर्यटनम्
Namatsurashirah kotirasangharshanam.
नमत्सुरशिरः कोटीरसङ्घर्षणम् नमत्सुरशिरः कोटीरसङ्घर्षणम्
Karmedam mridulasya.
कर्मेदं मृदुलस्य कर्मेदं मृदुलस्य
Vasya kim vochitam.
तावकपदद्वन्द्वस्य किं वोचितम् तावकपदद्वन्द्वस्य किं वोचितम्
Maccheto manipaduka viharanam.
मच्चेतो मणिपादुका विहरणम् मच्चेतो मणिपादुका विहरणम्
Shambho sadangikuru.
शम्भो सदाङ्गीकुरु शम्भो सदाङ्गी
Charu, your voice is breaking multiple times. I think it's because of the internet. You please check that, because multiple times in the middle it's breaking. Bakshastadanamantakasya kathinaapasmarasammardanam.
वक्षस्ताडनमन्तकस्य कठिनापस्मारसम्मर्दनम् वक्षस्ताडनमन्तकस्य कठिनापस्मारसम्मर्दनम्
Smar. Okay, so we should not split there. Kathina apasmara sammardhanam. Kathina apasmara sammardhanam. Kathina apasmara sammardhanam. Bhubhrit paryatanam namat surashirah कोटिरसङ्घर्षणम्
भूभृत्पर्यटनं न मत्सुरशिरः कोटिरसङ्घर्षणम् भूभृत्पर्यटनं न मत्सुरशिरः कोटिरसङ्घर्षणम्
कर्मेदं मृदुलस्य तावकपदद्वन्द्वस्य किं वोचितम्
कर्मेदं मृदुलस्य तावकपदद्वन्द्वस्य किं वोचितम् कर्मेदं मृदुलस्य तावकपदद्वन्द्वस्य किं वोचितम्
मच्चेतो मणिपादुका विहरणं शम्भो सदाङ्गीकुरु
मच्चेतो मणिपादुका विहरणं शम्भो सदाङ्गीकुरु मच्चेतो मणिपादुका विहरणं शम्भो सदाङ्गीकुरु
उत्तमम् वक्षस्ताडनमन्तकस्य please note the द्वित्वम् वक्षस्ताडनं s is doubling वक्षस्ताडनमन्तकस्य again kas antakasya s is doubling कठिनापस्मार सम्मर्दनम कठिन ठ महाप्राणा apasmara again that s is doubling see all the s's in this line the dvitvam is very pronounced apasmara sammardanam भूभृत् पर्यटनम भूभृत् both are mahapranas भूभृत् पर्यटनम अनुस्वारा combining with न भूभृत् पर्यटनं नमत् सुरशिरः कोटिर संघर्षणम शिरः कोटिर शिरः कोटिर combining becomes शिरः कोटिर संघर्षणम so this symbol here jihva muliya again and again we must revisit the rules of pronunciation the shiksha shastram which I think we have learned in class 13 or something like that in this particular course. It is there in the playlist on YouTube and on our course page. Shirah kotira sangharshanam gha is mahaprana. Karmedam mridulasya mri. It should not be pronounced as mru. It is not mru. Mridulasya. Tavaka padadvandvasya. Again dvitvam. Padadvandva. Note the d doubling. Kim vochitam. Kim vochitam. You can either chant the anuswara completely, but while you chant in a combined way, you can chant it as Kim vochitam. Maccheto manipaduka viharanam shambho sadangi kuru. Now we'll do two padas at a time. Charu, if you have to go to school, you can let me know and leave. Okay, no problem.
Fine.
That's okay. You can chant.
Yes.
Okay. वक्षस्ताडनमन्तकस्य कठिनापस्मारसम्मर्दनम् भूभृत्पर्यटनं नमत्सुरशिरः कोटिरसङ्घर्षणम्
वक्षस्ताडनमन्तकस्य कठिनापस्मारसम्मर्दनम् भूभृत्पर्यटनं नमत्सुरशिरः कोटिरसङ्घर्षणम् वक्षस्ताडनमन्तकस्य कठिनापस्मारसम्मर्दनम् भूभृत्पर्यटनं नमत्सुरशिरः कोटिरसङ्घर्षणम्
तावकपदद्वन्द्वस्य किं वोचितम् मच्चेतो मणिपादुका विहरणम् शम्भो सदाङ्गीकुरु
कर्मेदं मृदुलस्य तावकपदद्वन्द्वस्य किं वोचितम् मच्चेतो मणिपादुका विहरणं शम्भो सदाङ्गीकुरु कर्मेदं मृदुलस्य तावकपदद्वन्द्वस्य किं वोचितम् मच्चेतो मणिपादुका विहरणं शम्भो सदाङ्गीकुरु.
Uttamam. Now the entire verse. Vakshastadanamantakasya kathinaapasmara sammardanam bhubhrit पर्यटनं नमत्सुरशिरः कोटीरसङ्घर्षणम् कर्मेदं मृदुलस्य तावकपदद्वन्द्वस्य किं वोचितम् मच्चेतो मणिपादुका विहरणं शम्भो सदाङ्गीकुरु.
वक्षस्ताडनमन्तकस्य कठिनापस्मारसम्मर्दनम् भूभृत्पर्यटनं नमत्सुरशिरः कोटीरसङ्घर्षणम् कर्मेदं मृदुलस्य तावकपदद्वन्द्वस्य किं वोचितम् मच्चेतो मणिपादुका विहरणं शम्भो सदाङ्गीकुरु.
Uttamam. Okay, so now we'll do the Anvaya first. Antakasya Vakshasthadanam Kathinaapasmara Sammardanam Bhubhrit Paryatanam Namat Surashirah Kotira Sangharshanam Mrudulasya Tavaka Padadvandvasya Idam Karma Kim Va Uchitam Kim Uchitam Va Macche Shambho Maccheto Manipaduka Viharanam Sada Angikuru. Okay. Vakshasthantakasya Vakshasthadanam. Antaka. Who is Antaka? Yama. Antakasya Vakshasthadanam. So what did Parameshwara do? He kicked the, he struck the chest of Yama with his leg. And he also used his Trishula to drive him away. So when did this happen? We are all aware of the story from our Puranas of Markandeya, right? So Markandeya was a very devoted, very young boy whose parents had received a boon from Bhagavan, that they had a choice actually, whether to have a son who would live very long, but he would not be, so intelligent and wise and a bhakta, or to have a son who had a very limited lifespan, but who would be very wise, a very great person and a very great bhakta. And the parents chose the latter. They chose a son with a short lifespan, even though even though he had a short lifespan, would be a very great person, who would live as a very great person. So when the year of death of Markandeya was approaching, obviously his parents were very scared, and so was his mother. And then but the young boy, 15+ year old, I think he was destined to live only for 16 years. So as the 16th year was approaching, he was very steadfast in his devotion, and Markandeya was so sure and confident that Shambhu will protect me. Ishvara will protect me. You don't be scared, he told his mother. Ishvara will definitely protect me. Then he was hugging the linga of Parameshwara. So he was in that state of dhyana, embracing the Shiva linga, when that hour of death approached at his 16th year, and Yama comes in order to take him. Then Yama, you all might have seen, those who haven't read, please read up the story, and also the depiction graphically. So there is Yama's noose is shown as he releases his noose in order to, fasten it around the neck of the boy. But what happens is it fastens the Shivalinga also, because the boy is embracing the Shivalinga. Then Shiva emerges and he drives Yama away, as in he strikes Yama with his leg, with Shiva's leg, he strikes Yama on the chest, and he drives Yama away, and he protects Markandeya, and he becomes a Chiranjeevi. So that is why Parameshwara is called Kalantaka and Mrityunjaya, the one who defeated Mrityu, Yama, and the one who is death to Yama himself. So this is to show that Bhagavan protects his devotees from Yama, from Kala. So this is this particular word here, Antakasya Vakshasthadanam, striking the chest of Yama. It is referring to that a legend of Markandeya, that story of Markandeya being protected, the young boy being protected by Parameshwara and driving Yama away. Then Kathina Apasmara Samvardhanam, trampling the terrible Rakshasa Apasmara. Apasmara is another Rakshasa. So Bhagavan trampled that terrible Kathina, terrible Rakshasa called Apasmara. What else does Parameshwara do? Bhubhrit Paryatanam. He roams around the mountains, right? He is depicted as staying in the Kailasa Parvatam and in the Himalayas. And even here, Shri Shaila is also a hill. So the one who roams around hills and mountains. Then Namat Surashira Kotira Sangharshanam. Namat, prostrating. Surashiraha, that is the heads of the Devas. So Devas are prostrating to Parameshwara. Then Kotira Sangharshanam. So what happens? The crowns of the heads of the Devatas, the Devas are wearing crowns on their heads. The crowns are filled with gems. They are gem-studded. So when they prostrate to Parameshwara's feet, those gems, they rub against the feet of Parameshwara. And those gems are also, they are hard. They are not soft, right? We know how gems like diamond, etc. are very, very hard, hardest substance. So when they prostrate with their crowns at the feet of Parameshwara, the gems in their crowns, they rub against Parameshwara's feet. Okay, so then very beautifully Shankaracharya is saying, Mridulasya tavaka padadvandvasya. How are your feet? Your feet are mridu. They are very soft and tender, O Parameshwara. Tavaka, your padadvandva. Pada, feet. Dvandva is the pair. So the pair of your feet, which are so soft, karma idam kim uchitam va. All these things which he has described, that is Antakasya Vakshasthadanam, that is striking the chest of Yama, and trampling the Asura called Apasmara, roaming in the mountains which are full of, we know how the mountains are, whether it is the Himalayan snow or even here Sri Shaila in the south, when you have to go on the mountains itself, roam around in the forests and in the mountains, barefoot, there are a lot of thorns, plants, etc. And it is not easy, right? It's not possible to do it even in the Himalayas, to just walk barefoot and roam around there. But Parameshwara is doing all this. So Parameshwara, is this apt? Is this appropriate for the very tender feet of yours? Your feet, your pair of feet, which are so tender, are all these actions appropriate? So this is again Prema Bhakti, the love of a Bhakta. How can Parameshwara's tender feet bear all these very difficult things, bear all this, that is striking the chest of Yama, killing the Asura, and walking barefoot? Imagine walking barefoot in Himalayas and also in any hills. So how can you bear this, Parameshwara? How can your tender feet, pair of feet bear this? So this is how a bhakta is worrying about how Parameshwara is able to bear all this. And Shamyatam, therefore, O Shambho, O Bhagavan, the giver of happiness, Machetomani Paduka Viharanam. I will give you footwear, you wear that. And what is that footwear? What is that Paduka? The sandals which I give you? Machetomani Paduka Viharanam. My mind my mind itself is footwear, it's sandals, it is Paduka. My mind Paduka, Mani Paduka. It is not just Paduka, it is made of gems. My mind, my gem-studded mind, which itself is Paduka. Chetomani Paduka Viharanam. You rejoice or you roam around happily wearing the footwear of my gem-studded mind Paduka. Sada Angikuru. Please always accept this. Accept my mind, which is studded with gems, as the Paduka. as your paduka, and you always rejoice there or roam around there happily. Viharanam. Viharanam means in a very happy way to stroll or to walk around with a lot of happiness. So that is the bhava we must understand of bhakti. Again, that avyaja bhakti, meaning without expecting anything in return, without asking for anything, just love for the sake of loving Bhagavan. That pure avyaja bhakti, prema bhakti is what is described here. So we have also instances in our Sanskritam literature where gopikas, they wonder, oh Krishna, you go taking the cows to the forest, to the woods for grazing. That time there'll be a lot of thorns in the forest and stones, etc. How does your pair of feet, which is so mridu, which is tender, how do you manage that? And gopikas cry with devotion. So Krishna also describes that bhakti of gopikas to Uddhava. Then and Gopikas, with their bhakti, they are the greatest jnanis. They have attained the greatest Atma Jnanam, which rishis try to achieve. Many rishis who try to achieve by penance, the Gopikas, they achieved that by pure bhakti, that blemishless love. They also wonder, we come across that, where how is Krishna, how are you able to bear, how are your feet able to bear that Krishna when you go walking on the thorns and the stones? So again, very pure bhakti. And there is another instance in one of the Sanskrit works where a devotee of Rama, he cries, oh Rama, how did you go to the forest? Your feet are so tender. How did you manage just walking in that forest? And also, we know that he had the Paduka. Bharata, he took the Paduka and he did Paduka Pattabhisheka. And without Paduka, how did you manage, Rama? How did your feet, did they not hurt? So this is when all the devotee has is that pure love towards Bhagavan. So that is the bhava in this particular verse. We will go through the meaning once, the overall meaning, and then we will chant it. O Shambhu, bestower of joy, is it truly fitting for your soft and delicate feet to endure such harsh tasks? Your divine feet strike the chest of Yama, trample the dreadful demon Apasmara, wander across rugged mountains, and rub against the jeweled crowns of Devatas as they bow before you. Instead of subjecting them to such trials, I offer you the jeweled sandals of my mind. Please accept them and always walk within my heart. Let my mind be the sacred ground where your divine feet gently tread. वक्षस्ताडनमन्तकस्य कठिनापस्मारसम्मर्दनम् भूभृत्पर्यटनं नमत्सुरशिरः कोटीरसङ्घर्षणम् कर्मेदं मृदुलस्य तावकपदद्वन्द्वस्य किं वोचितम् मच्चेतो मणिपादुका विहरणम् शम्भो सदाङ्गीकुरु. Okay, next verse, Charu, Shriya. वक्षस्ताडनशङ्कया विचलितः
वक्षस्ताडनशङ्कया विचलितः वक्षस्ताडनशङ्कया विचलितः
वैवस्वतो निर्जराः
वैवस्वतो निर्जराः वैवस्वतो निर्जराः
कोटिरोज्ज्वलरत्नदीपक. We will do till, sorry, we will do till 1 minute. कोटिरोज्ज्वलरत्नदीपकलिका.
कोटिरोज्ज्वलरत्नदीपकलिका रत्नदीपकलिका कोटिरोज्ज्वलरत्नदीपकलिका
नीराजनं कुर्वते
नीराजनं कुर्वते नीराजनं कुर्वते
Here we are not supposed to split. It is one samastapadam. I split for the first time. From next time onwards, Koti Rojvala Ratna Deepa Kalika Nirajanam Kurvate. We chant the entire line together. If you feel the need to take a breath after Nirajanam, you could. Drishtva Muktivadhustanoti.
दृष्ट्वा मुक्तिवधूस्तनोति दृष्ट्वा मुक्तिमधूस्तनोति
पुनः एकवारम्
दृष्ट्वा मुक्तिवधूस्तनोति
उत्तमम् निभृताश्लेषं भवानीपते
निभृताश्लेषं भवानीपते निभृताश्लेषं भवानीपते
चेतस्तव पादपद्मभजनम्
यच्चेतस्तव पादपद्मभजनम् यच्चेतस्तव पादपद्मभजनम्
तस्येह किं दुर्लभम्
तस्येह किं दुर्लभम् कस्येह किं दुर्लभम्
उत्तमम् वक्षस्ताडनशङ्कया note the द्वित्वम् here Vakshastadana. S is doubling Dvitvam. Vakshastadana Shankaya Vichalitaha. Vaivasvato Nirjaraha. Vaivasvato. S is doubling. Vaivasvato Nirjaraha. Koti Rojvala Ratna Deepa Kalika Nirajanam Kurvate. Nirajanam Kurvate combined. It becomes Nirajanam Kurvate. Drishtva Muktivadhustanoti. Dha is Mahaprana. Nibhritashlesham. Bh is Mahaprana. And here Nibhritashlesham. Note the Drittam. The sh is doubling. Nibhritashlesham. Bhavani Pate. Bha is Mahaprana. Yachetastava. S is doubling. Yachetastava. Pada Padma Bhajanam. Bha is Mahaprana. Tasyeha. Again Dvitvam. S is doubling. Tasyeha. Kim Durlabham. Combining, we chant it as Kim Durlabham. Bha. We'll do one pada at a time. Vakshastadana Shankaya Vichalitaha Vaivasvato Nirjaraha.
वक्षस्ताडनशङ्कया विचलितः वैवस्वतो निर्जराः वक्षस्ताडनशङ्कया विचलितः वैवस्वतो निर्जराः
रत्नदीपकलिका नीराजनं कुर्वते
कोटिरोज्ज्वलरत्नदीपकलिका नीराजनं कुर्वते कोटिरोज्ज्वलरत्नदीपकलिका नीराजनं कुर्वते
दृष्ट्वा मुक्तिवधूस्तनोति निभृताश्लेषं भवानीपते
दृष्ट्वा मुक्तिवधूस्तनोति निभृताश्लेषं भवानीपते दृष्ट्वा मुक्तिवधूस्तनोति निभृताश्लेषं भवानीपते
यच्चेतस्तव पादपद्मभजनं तस्येह किं दुर्लभम्
यच्चेतस्तव पादपद्मभजनं तस्येह किं दुर्फलम् यच्चेतस्तव पादपद्मभजनं तस्येह किं दुर्लभम्
Now we'll do 2 padas at a time. Vakshastadana-shankaya vichalitah vaivasvato nirjaraah kotirojjwalaratnadipakalikaa nirajanam kurvate.
वक्षस्ताडनशङ्कया विचलितः वैवस्वतो निर्जराः कोटिरोज्ज्वलरत्नदीपकलिका नीराजनं कुर्वते वक्षस्ताडनशङ्कया विचलितः वैवस्वतो निर्जराः कोटिरोज्ज्वलरत्नदीपकलिका नीराजनं कुर्वते
दृष्ट्वा मुक्तिवधूस्तनोति निभृताश्लेषं भवानीपते यच्चेतस्तव पादपद्मभजनं तस्येह किं दुर्लभम्.
दृष्ट्वा मुक्तिवधूस्तनोति निभृताश्लेषं भवानीपते यच्चेतस्तव पादपद्मभजनं तस्येह किं दुर्लभम्.
Once again.
तस्येह किं दुर्लभम्.
Mm.
दृष्ट्वा मुक्तिवधूस्तनोति निभृताश्लेषं भवानीपते यच्चेतस्तव पादपद्मभजनं तस्येह किं दुर्लभम्.
Now we'll do the entire verse. Vakshastadana-shankaya vichalitah vaivasvato nirjaraah kotirojjwalaratnadipakalikaa nirajanam kurvate दृष्ट्वा मुक्तिवधूस्तनोति निभृताश्लेषं भवानीपते यच्चेतस्तव पादपद्मभजनं तस्येह किं दुर्लभम्.
वक्षस्ताडनशङ्कया विचलितः वैवस्वतो निर्जराः कोटिरोज्ज्वलरत्नदीपकलिका नीराजनं कुर्वते दृष्ट्वा मुक्तिवधूस्तनोति निभृताश्लेषं भवानीपते यच्चेतस्तव पादपद्मभजनं तस्येह किं दुर्लभम्.
Okay, again in this verse, Shankaracharya is highlighting that when the mind is devoted to the worship or engrossed in the worship of the lotus feet of Parameshwara, to such a mind, to such a person, kim durlabham, what is difficult to attain? Yat chetaha tava pada padma bhajanam tasya iha kim durlabham, what is difficult to attain for such a mind? Bhavani pate. Bhavani pate means, oh, consort of Bhavani. Yacchetaha tava pada padma bhajanam drishtva vakshastadana shankaya vaivasvatah vichalitah nirjaraha kotirojjwala ratna deepa kalika nirajanam kurvate muktivadhuhu nibhritaश्लेषं tanoti tasya iha kim durlabham. Okay, so Bhavani pate, O consort of Bhavani, yacchetaha tava pada padma bhajanam. That mind which is engrossed and involved in worshipping the lotus, your lotus feet, tava pada padma bhajanam, worshipping or singing the glory of your lotus feet. To such a person, Vaivasvataha Vakshastadana Shankaya Vichalitah. Vaivasvata here refers to Yama. So, Vakshastadana Shankaya, he is scared that again he will be struck on the chest by your feet. So, remember the connection to the previous verse and to the story of Markandeya. Because Markandeya was such a great devotee of Parameshwara, he sought refuge in Parameshwara. When Yama approached, then he was struck on the chest by Parameshwara, um, and so that is, so Yama is scared of Parameshwara. Therefore, to your devotee, to your bhakta, Yama is very scared to approach him, to attack him. Why? Because he's scared that he will again face that blow on his chest which he did when you protected Markandeya. So, Vakshastadana Shankaya Vaivasvataha Vichalitah, worried or scared that he may get he may be struck again with your on his chest. He is he doesn't come near such a devotee. Then Nirjaraha. So if you learn Amara Kosha, Amara Nirjara Devaha, they are all the synonyms for Devaha. Nirjaraha, that is the ones who do not have Jara, old age. So to such Devas, Koti Rojvala Ratna Deepa Kalika Neerajanam Kurvate. So such Devas who don't have old age, to your devotee, to Parameshwara's devotee, they perform Neerajanam, Arati. And what is that Arati? Koti Rojvala Ratna Deepa Kalika Neerajanam. So when they prostrate with the gem-studded crowns to the feet of the devotee of Parameshwara here, then the brilliance or the rays or that luster emitted by the gems in their crowns, that itself becomes Neerajanam, that itself becomes Arati to the feet of who? Parameshwara's devotee. So when one's mind is completely devoted to the feet of Parameshwara, Yama doesn't come near such a bhakta because he is scared that he'll be struck again. And all the devas with their gem-studded crowns, when they prostrate to such a devotee of Parameshwara, then the brilliance emanated from the gems, that itself becomes a Neerajanam, that itself becomes an Arati to the feet of that there is no feet here, sorry. Koti Rojvala Ratna Deepa Kalika Neerajanam Kurvate. So when they prostrate, then what happens? Then the brilliance from the gems, that itself becomes a Neerajanam, Arati to the devotee of Parameshwara. Then Mukti Vadhuhu Nibhritashlesham Tanoti. Here, Mukti, liberation, is Mukti herself is Vadhu. That is, she is the young lady called Mukti. She tightly embraces, Nibhrata Shlesham Tanuti, tightly embraces such a person. This shows that with Bhakti, Mukti is guaranteed. That ultimate state of that Bhakti which we described, which we saw in, say, Kandapanayana or devotees like Prahlada, Dhruva, Gopikas, Shabari, etc. That Bhakti itself is mukti. That bhakti itself guarantees liberation. And once you gain that bhakti, you attain that, you are in that state of jnanam, that ultimate atma jnanam. And you realize that oneness with Paramatma, that itself is liberation. Right? So, Mukti Vadhuhu Nibhritashlesham Tanoti, the young lady called liberation, Mukti, she tightly embraces a bhakta. And that means mukti is guaranteed to such a person with such bhakti. So this mukti and that state of bhakti are inseparable. That is what is highlighted here. So such a person attains liberation. Then tasya iha kim durlabham. So when a person, that parama purushartha of mukti, and that which is the ultimate goal of this jivatma, to attain that liberation, to attain that atma jnana, when that itself is attained through bhakti to Parameshwara, then what is difficult to be achieved in this world, iha, which means even whatever such a bhakta wants in this world will definitely, he or she will be very easy to it will be very easy for such a bhakta to get. And also, such a bhakta conquers Yama, as in Yama is scared to come approach such a bhakta because he's scared to be struck again by Parameshwara. Then the devas with the gem-studded crowns, when they prostrate the gems, the lustre from the gems, that itself becomes Nirajanam to such a devotee of Parameshwara. Then the Bhukti Vadhu, a young lady called Mukti, she tightly embraces such a person, meaning that person gains liberation, Mukti. What is difficult for such a person to attain here, for such a bhakta to attain here? This speaks of the Bhakta Gresaras, the greatest of the bhaktas. Now let us read the full meaning. O consort of Bhavani, what can be unattainable in this world, Iha, for one whose mind is devoted to the worship of your lotus feet? Out of fear that he may once again be struck on the chest, Yama, the god of death, trembles and flees at his sight. At whose sight? At the sight of a devotee whose mind is completely engrossed in dhyana, in the lotus feet of Parameshwara. The celestial beings, devatas, adorned with radiant crowns, offer him an arati where the brilliance of the gems on their crowns shines like divine lamps. Mukti, the goddess of liberation, embraces such a devotee tightly. Such is the power of true devotion to your feet. Nothing remains beyond the reach for those who surrender to you completely. Now we will chant this verse once. Vakshasthadana vichalitah वैवस्वतो निर्जराः कोटिरोज्ज्वलरत्नदीपकलिका नीराजनं कुर्वते दृष्ट्वा मुक्तिवधूस्तनोति निभृताश्लेषं भवानीपते यच्चेतस्तव पादपद्मभजनं तस्येह किं दुर्लभम्. A very beautiful verse highlighting the importance of bhakti, which is why Shivanandalahari is called as Bhakti Shastram. If you see in every verse, Shankaracharya has beautifully highlighted that aspect of bhakti. Then Sa Bhakti Rityuchyate, when he describes what that ultimate bhakti is. And just this verse also reminds us of Bhagavad Gita. Multiple times we are reminded of where Bhagavan Krishna, just to say how nothing is impossible for a bhakta. After showing the Vishwarupa, he tells Arjuna that only because of your bhakti, bhaktatu ananyaya shakyaha ahamevam vidhorjuna jnatum drashtum cha tatvena praveshtum cha parantapa. Naham yajnair na tapasa na danena na chejaya shakya evam vidho drashtum drishtavanasi mam yatha. O Arjuna, only because of your pure bhakti, and we know how Arjuna loved Krishna as a friend. Even before he surrendered to Krishna as a guru, only in the war. And Shishyasteham Shadhimam Tvam Prapannam. Completely he does Sharanagati and says, I am your Shishya Krishna. But till then, he was a very great friend to Krishna. That pure love was there for Krishna. And that Krishna highlights in 11th chapter, Vishwarupa Darshana Yoga, where only because of your bhakti, Arjuna, you could see this form of Vishwarupa, not through any other means. And Arjuna himself, after seeing, he loved Krishna as a friend. But Arjuna had not seen that Vishwarupa. So once he sees that, he is completely overwhelmed and he is filled with fear. So most of you would have read, otherwise please read the 11th chapter, beautiful chapter along with the meaning. Just reading the verses itself, you get those vibrations. So beautiful verses they are. So he describes, and he's overwhelmed, he is filled with that Adbhuta Rasa. He's awestruck and he is scared. there he says, Hey Krishna, Hey Yadava, Hey Sakheti, Ajanata Mahimanam Tavedam Maya Pramadat Pranayena Vapi. Yachavahasartham asatkritosi Vihara Shayyasana Bhojaneshu. So, hey Krishna, all these days I was just thinking of Hey Krishna, Hey Yadava, Hey Sakha. I was thinking of you as a friend. Ajanata Mahimanam Tavedam. I did not know this beautiful, this great, he hadn't visualized Krishna in that form of Vishwarupa. So if I have made fun of you, see, between friends, it is very, that hasyam is always there, like making fun of each other and, teasing, etc. Whatever I have done so far, Krishna, thinking of you as my dear friend, please forgive me for that. So then Krishna tells him, see, because of your bhakti, I gave you this, blessed you with this darshanam of Vishwarupa. So bhakti it can achieve anything. That is what is highlighted in this verse also. Whether in this particular world you want to achieve something, or that Parama Purusha, that ultimate goal, liberation of Mukti, and Arjuna could visualize that Vishwarupa form. And Krishna blessed him with the divine eyesight. Divyam dadami te chakshuhu pashyame yogamaishwaram. You will not be able to behold this form, Arjuna, with these human eyes, right? So even if you see the brilliance of the sun, you can't stare at the sun directly. It affects, because that kind of energy, that kind of, our human eyes will not be able to withstand that. And but that Vishwarupa form had the brilliance of crores of suns. So just imagine, therefore Krishna says, Divyam dadami te chakshuha, I will bless you with divine eyesight to behold that form. And so many times he emphasizes on bhakti in the Bhagavad Gita. So this verse and many verses, like I said in Shivanandalahari, they remind us of the various texts, including the Gita, where bhakti has been highlighted. So with this, we will conclude today. We have completed 65 verses so far. And at the end of the course, we will have an assessment as usual. So please start learning. I would be very happy if all of you can participate in the Kantapata assessment. Otherwise, at least Parayanam, that is at least reading. And because this particular course has been very unique in the sense it has been a Jnana Yajna also, apart from just chanting and listening. So we have studied the meaning. So let me see if we can have any other kind of activity or something like that, where you can share what you have understood, as in maybe where you can express what you have understood and what you have your key takeaways from the meaning of this particular stotram which we have dealt with in class so far. And in fourth chapter, Krishna speaks about different kinds of yajnas. And basically, he says our life living itself should become a yajna, offering to Bhagavan, renouncing that sense of doership and attachment to the karma phala. And even courses like this also are a form of yajna, attending, doing nitya parayanam, trying to memorize, even attending regularly itself is a shravana yajna. It is an offering to Bhagavan. So thank you all. It has been a very great experience so far, because it is we are enjoying the meaning along with chanting the verses. We have 35 more to go. So we will keep you updated on the assessments, etc. So please attend regularly. And some of them have asked me, is it okay to join now? Please do so. Like I always say, once you start attending, you will be familiar with the rules, even if you're new to chanting, and you will easily be able to pick up the other verses we have completed so far. The recordings are available. There is a playlist created on YouTube, so you can go through the playlist whenever you have time, and you could catch up on the other verses. So if any of friends, relatives want to join, they are also welcome, even though we have completed the 65% of the course. Next Saturday, there will be no class. I will ask if Aditi is free, then maybe she can take a revision, but I will not be available next class, because we are having Samarpanam in Kurukshetra, that is Gita, Homa, and Parayanam of Bhagavad Gita in Kurukshetra. The reason I'm announcing here is we will send you the flyer in the group, in the WhatsApp group. You all can join online and you can view online. And some of them had requested if they can, give their details for Sankalpa, for the Homa, etc. That is also possible. I will send the flyer in the group. So if you want to share your details for Sankalpa, for Homa, please do so. If you want to participate online, please do so. It is going to be on next Friday, Saturday, 2 days. One day is Homa, and next day is Parayanam. Of course, Homa also will be by chanting each verse of Gita. So it would be a very nice experience if you all can join online. And we will conclude today's class as usual with Shanti Mantraha. सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः धन्यवादाः सर्वेभ्यः. Thank you so much to our panelists Shriya, Charu and Aditi. And yes, Aditi has shared the link to join WhatsApp. So those who want, please go through that Q&A chat. Aditi, I hope you have shared it publicly only.
Yes,
So
ma'am, it's shared.
y'all can, whoever has not joined the link, join the WhatsApp group and who want to can do so now. I'll keep this open for another 5 minutes. So y'all can copy the link and join. Dhanyavadaha. Ram Ram Ram.